The national capital region, whether it's Delhi and Gurugram in particular, found itself once again on its knees after a spell of rains on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. As heavy rains flooded roads and underpasses, the city's drainage system, or the NCR's drainage system, exposed yet again. Once again evident that urban infrastructure is barely holding up. Failed drainage systems, collapsing traffic, showing how despite crores being spent, smart cities being announced, monsoon preparedness remains patchy yet again. It just seems every year the same question has to be asked. Why are our metros crumbling? That's the question that we are going to raise on the show. Why is urban infrastructure crumbling? How do you make metros monsoon proof? Why are the lessons not being learnt? Several people, we are told, have also died in the waterlogging in Gurgaon. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, joins me. Dikshu Kukreja, Urban Planner, joins me. Appreciate you both joining us. Sudhir Krishna, let's start with Gurugram, because in Gurugram, even the slightest bout of rain in the so-called Millennium City results in complete chaos. What explains this? A so-called new city of 21st century India can't handle the rains, it appears. You're on mute, sir. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Can you
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Rajdeep. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And the challenge is also very serious, not only for Gurugram, but for many other metros also, and even for tier 2 cities also. And I see the primary reason for this is inadequate vision, lack of vision about cities development. And the vision converted into actual approach is a lack of regional planning. Regional planning is not there, and we are doing incremental planning or localized planning. We want to develop
Sir,
a
but
structure.
Gurugram is a smart city. Gurugram has been designated a smart city. Gurugram has all the high per capita income dwellers there. When you say lack of planning, do you blame the state government, center?
Yes.
Who is responsible in your view? Is it the municipal civic level authorities who simply don't do enough?
It is like you say, regional planning is a responsibility of the state government and of course the government of India. The problem has come in a complicated manner. That the regional development is a local subject. The government of India introduced the smart city mission and they pushed for it. It was a localized effort. So the smart city means smart gadgets, smart applications and so on. But what the cities require first and foremost is drainage planning. Water must flow out systematically. That doesn't require so much of smartness, it requires more of a calm, cool planning, for which we have to use smart, initiatives like satellite imagery and so on, but do some good drainage planning. Every city must have a fundamental requirement for any city is drainage plan, which is missing. Therefore, the water logs here and there. That is one. And coupled with that, weak local governance. You see, the Gurugram Municipal Corporation is not the only body handling issues connected with the water flow. There is development authorities also there, and GMDA and the municipal corporation, and there are many other authorities also operating, handling the area, roads and the water. So therefore, multiplicity of authority is also a challenge. So these two are, to begin with, I will say there are other issues also of issues of that we will discuss.
But you made a very important point. You have said multiplicity of authorities, the complete lack of focus on drainage. It's all very well to have smart cities, but you can't have smart cities which don't focus on drainage. Dikshu Kukreja, year after year, and this is probably the second or third year in a row you've come on the show, it simply seems to get worse. Last night, even an hour of rain was enough for complete waterlogging. It continued this morning as well. I've singled out Gurgaon, but look at Delhi itself, the national capital, unable to handle the kind of rain that perhaps Mumbai would treat as a normal day. Delhi just seems unable to handle even the slightest rainfall. Is there something seriously wrong with the system?
Well, Rajdeep, first of all, let's both try and resolve that next monsoon when you and I meet on this show, the problems have been wished away and our cities are better. But on a serious note, I think, yes, it's a systemic problem, Rajdeep. And the problem here is that right from the way the master planning and the development of the city is done in a very ad hoc fashion, unauthorized colonies are suddenly regularized. Well, fine if they have to be regularized, but what about the infrastructure? They're not even having the capacities for which the habitation is there. And in the case of Gurgaon, if we stick to that, it's been a very sad state of affairs. When we talk about multiplicity of authorities in Gurgaon, MCF, GMDA, Huda, etc., why couldn't we learn from the instance of Delhi? Delhi, we have perennially had this problem of multiplicity of authorities, and here we go about repeating the same mistake year after year and in city after city. As far as the aspect of topography is concerned, the soil strata is concerned, all these scientific aspects are completely ignored. So in Gurgaon, whether you look at how the Badshahpur drain has been completely savaged, and now there is no proper drain network there. If you look at Golf Course Road, or you look at the southern peripheral road, Cyber City, another instance, yes, it might have glitzy buildings, but that's all it has, I guess, because it's completely impervious. When it rains, there's no percolation of water into the soil. So you see this kind of a situation. As
But
far as the runoff
is it because
coefficients are
Dinesh,
there, they are not
is
taken
it
care of.
is it because, Dinesh, that here is a city which, as I said, was a 21st century. If you went to Gurgaon even in the 1990s, much of it was very rural. You build on farmlands, you build these multi-story skyscrapers, but you don't focus on where is the water going to move into those traditional water outlets. You're building on some of those water outlets. Is this therefore a man-made tragedy above all else in cities like Gurugram and in many other cities across the country? We are seeing it in Bengaluru, we are seeing it in parts of Mumbai. You're building over water bodies, lakes in Bengaluru, your marshlands in Mumbai, and that really is causing havoc.
And add to that Chennai, Pune, and many, many more. Yes, it's
Sure.
absolutely that it's not a holistic planning. Particularly in the case of Gurgaon, if you see, just land allotments have been done sporadically without a comprehensive master plan. So suddenly you see these high-rise buildings next to plotted development or next to just shanties and slum developments, because everything's just come up in a sporadic manner. And as far as the infrastructure goes, for example, if we talk just about the rainwater or stormwater management, there should be a system that within these so-called islands of excellence or that have been made, why is water management not happening at first that micro level and then at a city macro level? There needs to be a master plan which integrates blue and green. That's what's happened world over. That's how cities work. When I say blue and green, I mean that the water network of a city, whether it's the water supply system or the stormwater runoff system, it has to be comprehensively integrated into the master plan. And greens, unless you have soft areas, soft surfaces in a city, you can't go about concretizing everything.
So is
and
it
if
too
you
late?
do that, where will the water go?
Is it too late? Is it too late according to you, Dikshu?
Well, Rajdeep, I'm a perennial optimist. I would never say it's too late. Yes, it's unfortunate because here we position Gurgaon, as you said, a smart city and, the golden goose for Haryana. Here we position India, aim to becoming a Viksit Bharat. This is not the way we can get there. So yet I would say it's not too late. Like I said, strategies can be brought into place. Let's have a more unified authority when it comes to infrastructure development of Gurugram. Let's have a blue and green map and planning integrated into the master plan of Gurugram. Let's have all these low-lying areas, nalas, the paleo channels of water that were there, which have been just recklessly covered. Let's do a scientific evidence, scientific research of seeing how the lay of the water is now when it rains. And all this can be repaired. All this can be improved. But there has to be, rather than political bickering, rather than transferring the blame from one authority to another, one party to another, there needs to be consensus. And one last point, Rajdeep, if we really want to fix it genuinely, let's get out of this culture of selecting people, technical experts or construction agencies on the lowest tender basis. I think this is the saddest thing that's happening in India at the moment. We think we are saving money, but the images on your screen tell us how much money and capital is getting, and human capital is getting wasted by these disasters year after year. So we need to get into a system like the world over. They select the best technical consultants. They don't go just by the lowest fee. They select the best contractors. They don't go just by the lowest fee. So let's fix it now.
Let me therefore ask Sudhir Krishna in conclusion. Mr. Krishna, do you believe that there is a willingness to fix it? Or is it too late? Because as you said, multiplicity of authorities, no one is willing to give up their limited powers, whether multiplicity of authorities in Mumbai, Delhi, any city of this country. Do you need, every city needs an empowered authority that specifically deals with these issues like drainage, for example? Unless you have an authority which is fully empowered and is therefore accountable, nothing is going to change.
Yes, we need an authority which is fully empowered, but it has to be a representative body. It has to be a representative body, because a singular authority, like if you make the development authority, Gurgaon Metropolitan Development Authority, as the authority, and we think that the chief executive officer can handle everything singularly very well, I don't think it is going to happen. It has to be a representative body. And that,
Right.
see, our country is different. Other countries also have similar model. Regional authorities are there. But I mean, I would like to ignore that and create our own model. We should have, just like municipality, we should have a representative regional authority. So what is happening in our country? Delhi is also an example. So is Mumbai, MMRDA. So is the GMD. That, they are doing planning and development both. You see, the authority is doing planning and so the development overtakes. They become developer. Development authority
Right.
become developer also. That is a very big challenge. And planning goes in background. Sometimes they violate. See, DDA developed on the Yamuna floodplain. They allowed and they developed also. Construction activities happened on the Yamuna floodplain by the DDA itself, because they became developer come planner. And therefore, money becomes so attractive. So these are the governance challenges are there. We have to have, the constitution
You,
propose a
you
metropolitan
make
planning.
a you make very, very solid points, both of you. I hope someone out there once again is listening. You can't have smart cities, first of all, without smart planning. And smart planning involves a complete revamp of the way urban governance is done in this country. But does anyone really have the time and energy and effort to do that? These are the questions that those in power across this country must ask themselves. For now, for my guests for joining me on this vital issue of public concern, thank you very much.